morning, everybody. Let me remind you one more time, please like and subscribe my channel. Before moving further in the chapter, let us revise some of the terms which we have done in the previous videos. Mainly we have discussed about the compounds, that compounds are the pure substances which are formed by two or more elements joined together chemically. The elements which are involved in the formation of compounds are always present in the fixed ratio by their mass. They are having their unique chemical formula. They cannot be even separated by any physical means. They can be separated into its constituent particles only by the chemical processes like electrolysis. We have discussed the difference between compound and the elements. In difference between, we have done the compounds which contains atoms of different elements which are chemically combined together in fixed ratio by their mass. An element is a pure substance which contains only one type of atom. Compound is represented by a formula. An element is represented by a symbol. The next we have properties of compounds. Let us discuss these properties by taking the examples. The very first property we are having, the properties of compounds are entirely different from their constituent elements. For example, water. So we can say that the property of water is entirely or totally different from the properties of hydrogen and oxygen from which it is made. For example, water is a liquid, whereas hydrogen and oxygen are gases. Water does not burn, whereas hydrogen can catch fire. Water does not support combustion. On the other hand, oxygen is a supporter of combustion. So we can say that the properties of compound is different from the properties of its constituent elements. The next property we are having, compound cannot be separated into its constituents by any physical method. Again, take the example of water. Water cannot be separated into its constituent, that is hydrogen and oxygen, by any physical method like filtration, evaporation, distillation, sublimation, etc. But the compound can be separated into its constituent by the means of chemical methods like electrolysis. The next property we are having, the composition of compound is always fixed. Let us take the example of water. As we know that water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen, and these two elements, they combine together in a fixed ratio by their mass, that is 1:8. It means 1 gram of hydrogen is always mixed with 8 grams of oxygen chemically for the formation of water. This composition is always fixed, whatever the way of formation of compound is. Let us understand the property of compounds in a better way with the help of upcoming video.
Properties of compounds. The following are the properties of compounds. Composition of a compound remains constant. The composition of a particular compound remains fixed irrespective of how and where it is produced. For example, whether sugar is natural or synthesized, that is prepared by chemical reactions, each molecule of sugar will have 12 atoms of carbon combined with 22 atoms of hydrogen and 11 atoms of oxygen. Compounds can be broken down into their elements by chemical methods. It is not possible to separate out the elements from their compounds by physical methods. However, compounds can be broken down into their elements by special methods. For example, water can be broken down into its constituent elements. hydrogen and oxygen by electrolysis. Compounds have properties different from their constituent elements. Sugar is a compound formed by the combination of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbon is a black, tasteless solid. Hydrogen and oxygen are gases. Yet, sugar is a sweet white solid.
I hope you have understood all the properties of the compounds. Now, let us take one practical activity in which we will be taking iron and sulfur and then understand and study about the properties of compounds.
In this experiment, we will first make a mixture of black iron filings and yellow sulfur powder. Black iron filings and yellow sulfur powder are thoroughly mixed. They form a gray mixture of the two elements. This mixture can be separated by physical methods. For example, when a magnet is brought to the mixture, it removes essentially all the iron filings, leaving the sulfur behind, which here looks gray because of the impurities from the iron. The iron has been separated from the sulfur by means of a magnet. When the same mixture is heated in a test tube, the two elements iron and sulfur react together to form a new compound, iron sulfide. At first, when the mixture is heated, the sulfur melts. Eventually, as the heating continues, the iron and sulfur begin to react together. When the Bunsen is removed, the tube continues to glow as the reaction proceeds. The gray-black brittle solid formed is a new compound, iron sulfide. It is unlike either sulfur or iron and cannot be separated by a magnet.
The next category we are having, that is impure substance, which is also known as mixtures. It's a substance which consists of two or more elements or compounds which are not at all chemically combined together. For example, air, which is a mixture of different gases. Seawater, which also contains so many minerals. Lime water, which contains lime juice and water. Salt solution, simple common salt is dissolved in water. Muddy water, in which mud is present in the water. Chalk water. All these are the examples of mixture. Basically, when we talk about mixture, a mixture is that substance which can be easily separated into its constituent by the means of physical method. There are two types of mixtures, homogeneous and heterogeneous. In homogeneous mixture, we cannot see the different parts of the mixture. Let us take the example of sugar solution. If you add 2 tablespoons of sugar in water, you will get the mixture of it. But we cannot separate the boundaries of sugar and water molecules. They are not observable. On the other hand, in the heterogeneous mixture, suppose you are taking the mixture of rice and pearls. You can easily separate the boundaries of rice and pearls, which can be easily separated by the physical method like hand picking, etc. So we can say that in homogeneous mixture, the two types of particles are spread uniformly. Like you can see one type of particle are taking the space between the other type of particles. But in heterogeneous, the two types of or more than two types of particles are not uniformly spread. So it can be easily visible. The boundaries of these constituent particles are easily visible in heterogeneous mixture. Now let us define homogeneous mixture one more time. It's a mixture in which the substances or constituents are completely mixed together. There is no visible boundaries of separation of various components. As you can see from the example in coffee, there is no separate boundary of sugar, coffee powder or milk. In milkshake, there is no separate boundary of milk and the flavor you are adding. Hence, we can say that it's a uniform composition throughout. But in heterogeneous mixture, the substances remain same and visible. We can say that the heterogeneous mixture does not have a uniform composition. In fact, it is having a visible boundaries of separation between the various constituents. Like you can see in the form of salad, you can easily see the different vegetables. In the form of pizza, you can easily see the different vegetables spread over it. So, we are having so many examples in our day-to-day life to distinguish between homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Some of the example I have given you in this slide. The next we are having the characteristics of mixture. The very first characteristic of mixture, it's an impure substance. There is no particular formula for the mixture. The constituent of the mixture can be easily separated by any physical method like filtration, evaporation, hand picking, distillation, magnetic separation easily. A mixture shows the property of all the constituent present in it. For example, if you are making a mixture of sand and sugar, the properties will not be changed. The property of sand and sugar will be the same as that of their mixture. The next we are having the constituent particles of the mixture can be combined in any ratio by their mass. There is no fixed ratio to make the mixture. Here we are having some differences between compounds and mixture. Like mixture can be separated by any physical method, but compounds cannot. They only be separated by the help of chemical method like electrolysis. The properties of the constituents present in the mixture is same that of mixture, but the properties of the constituent particles is different of the properties of compounds. There is no chemical change takes place when we are preparing a mixture. So it can be regarded as physical change, but compound formation is the chemical change. There is no heat energy involved in the formation of mixture, but during the formation of compound, sometimes we need to give heat energy or sometimes heat energy is evolved whenever the formation of compound takes place. Let us understand better the difference between mixture and compounds with the help of upcoming video.
Difference between compound and mixture. Definition: compound. They are made up of two or more elements combined chemically. Definition: mixture. They are made up of two or more substances mixed physically. Nature of compound: homogeneous. Nature of mixture: homogeneous or heterogeneous. Examples: compound: water, carbon dioxide, magnesium oxide, sodium chloride. Example: mixture: air, seawater, most rocks. Separation methods: compound. The constituents of a compound can be separated only by chemical methods. Separation methods: mixture. The constituents of a mixture can be separated easily by physical methods. Properties of compound. Constituents lose their original property. properties of mixture, constituents keep their original property. New substance, compound. New substance is formed. A new compound can have properties different from its constituents. New substance, mixture. No new substance is formed. The properties of a mixture are the same as the properties of its constituents. Melting and boiling, compound, fixed. Melting and boiling, mixture, not fixed.
I hope you have understood all the topics which we have done today. So, here we are having assignment in which I have given you 4 questions. Again, if any query, you please give me a message in a comment box. Thank you and have a nice day.